I just wanted to do a video on a pen I recently found at a antique store. It's a Waterman's 52 and 1/2 V in a red wood grain. I believe it's a wood grain and not a red ripple due to the pattern on it. Some history on the pen. 52 series started in the late 1910s and lasted until the 1930s. The 1/2 was introduced, which indicated it was a smaller diameter. And the V model came out for the vest pocket model. The 52 and 1/2 V was the smallest version. They did add the ring to the cap, so it could be carried on a ribbon or on a chain. They were used by both men and women. In 1923, Waterman began producing the modeled pens that had the red and black wood grain. This is different than the Ripple that came out in 1926. And Waterman doesn't really distinguish in their history between the two models. This pen, as far as I've seen, does not have any have Ripple written on it anywhere. The pen is in excellent condition. There is some fading to the hard rubber. You can see there the difference in the two. I did polish the nib quite a bit to get all the old tarnish off. There is also, I'm not sure quite what it is, but there are a couple little white specks on the cap, and I don't want to try and remove them because I know these pens are hard to kind of polish up correctly. You can see that nib really turned out nice. See, all the gold is in excellent condition on the pen. The lever as well is in excellent condition. You can see right there it says ideal on it. There are no markings on the cap. It does have very crisp markings on the pen body itself. I'm not sure if it'll show up. I think some of them may. But it does say Waterman's Ideal, registered U.S. Patent Office, fountain pen on the barrel there. And then on the bottom, see there, it does also say Waterman's registered U.S. Patent Office, made in the USA. The nib also, it has the, as you can see, the heart shape right there. Waterman's registered patent office, and number 2, once again made in the U.S. I did clean the pen as much as I could. I did, like I said, I removed the tarnish from the nib, cleaned up very nicely. It is just a plain black feed on the back. All the threads and everything are in perfect condition. I also did do some writing with it once I got everything back together, just to make sure everything was working. And it's pretty impressive with the amount of flex I was able to get out of this. You can see, this is the stuff I already wrote. Small section there. You can see it's 0.2 millimeters, flexing all the way out to a 1.88 millimeter. And this is just normal scrap paper I had laying around, nothing like Rhodey or Clairefontaine. Just writes really nice. I can do a little bit of a writing sample here just to show. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this pen. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, if I'm going to look for something else. You know, it's kind of a lucky find, but right here I'm doing this unposted, but see, it flexes really nice. I'm barely putting any pressure on it, and it just wants to spread. I wouldn't consider it a wet noodle, but it does have a nice amount of flex to it, as you can see. Just a no pressure line. Try that again, which is absolutely no pressure. You can see how thin it goes. Just a little bit of pressure, it just lays down the ink. So I don't have any other pens like this. I'm just trying to decide, like I said, what I'm going to do with it. See, very thin to very nice. And the feed just keeps up. And this is, like I said, this is just normal scrap paper. It's actually the back of a World War II calendar. No coating or anything on it. And it's actually just Parker washable blue, so it's not even a nice ink, but you can just see how nice of a job it does, and it just writes extremely well. So like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, if I'm going to hold on to it or sell it. It's just a great writer. It's a lucky find and it turned out really well. Like I said, I put a new sack in it, flushed it out. I did not want to knock the nib out because I know that these can be fragile. I did clean it as much as possible, and I also powdered the sack and the lever, and everything just works great. The lever clicks in nicely. I've done a few pages, like I said, and surprisingly just doing really well, but I'm very happy with how this turned out. Once again, nice thin lines, and just really spreads out nicely. I haven't been posting it. When you post it is a little easier to control just because it is so short. It's actually the first time it's ever railroaded, but I wonder if it's actually running out of ink with, you know, how small the... No, it's running fine now. But these are small hands. I wear a large size glove, and I'm not even sure if I'm able to fit this in the frame here. But it is literally just a little bit, you know, just a little bit longer than my middle finger. So these are tiny pens that, you know, the specs are all over the internet. Just really a cool little pen. Men and women would wear them in the 1920s and 30s. You would see them with the men would have a pocket watch on one part of their chain and then the pen on the second part through the cap there, and then women would wear them around their necks. So just a really cool pen, really cool history. Really like the history on these pens. Like I said, just turned out really nice. Thank you very much for watching.